Hey everyone! In this video, we're diving into the building blocks of life and breaking down the key components of cells.
Both plant and animal cells are made up of little bits called organelles. The main ones are the nucleus, that's the brain of the cell, mitochondria, the powerhouses, chloroplasts, for plants only, where they make food, rough endoplasmic reticulum, it makes proteins, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it makes fats and steroids, lysosomes, the cell's cleanup crew, ribosomes, protein factories, and the Golgi apparatus, packaging things up.
The size and quantity of organelles within a cell aren't one size fits all, they depend on the cell's job and the organism it belongs to. Take this for example, cells cranking out hormones or enzymes typically boast a whole heap of Golgi apparatuses. Cells in charge of kicking off programmed cell death. You'll usually find them brimming with lysosomes. And muscle cells? They're swimming in mitochondria.
Think of the nucleus as the cell's command center, its beating heart. If a cell were a computer, the nucleus would be the CPU, plain and simple. It's absolutely vital for heredity, passing down traits through our genes. Chromosomes? They're jam-packed with genes, and genes themselves are built from chromatin. Chromatin, imagine it as incredibly fine threads, is made of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, the very blueprint of life. Feast your eyes on the nucleus diagram. The nucleus is a membrane-bound structure, essentially a hollow sphere. Its membrane is dotted with gateways called nuclear pores, formed by specific proteins that act like selective doormen. Generally, you're looking at a nucleus that's about 5 to 10 micrometers across. The nucleus is fundamental to an organism's heredity, it's essentially the cell's command center. The following illustration will break down how traits get passed on and the nucleus's crucial role in this inheritance. The nucleolus is a solid structure made up of RNA, proteins, and DNA. It's often referred to as the ribosome factory of the cell.
Mitochondria, often dubbed the powerhouses of the cell, can sport oval, cylindrical, or rod-like shapes. They boast a double membrane setup, with the inner membrane all folded up to maximize surface area. This extra space really cranks up ATP synthesis via the citric acid cycle. Size-wise, they vary depending on the cell type, but generally, you'll find them clocking in at 0.2 to 1.0 micrometer in length. The inner mitochondrial membrane's folds are known as cristae. Take a look at this diagram of a mitochondrion. Mitochondria are able to self-replicate. Some folks reckon they're like symbiotic prokaryotes that cozied up inside eukaryotic cells ages ago, seeing as they've got their own DNA and all. Bet you didn't know we get our mitochondrial DNA straight from our mums, did you? The egg cytoplasm is chock full of the things, way more than in any sperm. Truth be told, nearly all our mitochondria come from mom's side of the family.
The Golgi apparatus looks like a stack of flattened pancakes, or sacs, often surrounded by little spherical bubbles called vesicles. Typically, it measures about 0.5 to 1.0 micrometers across. These pancakes, known as cisternae, are filled with fluids crucial for the cell's inner workings. You'll often find this doohickey hanging out in cells that act like hormone-releasing glands or enzyme factories.
Rough endoplasmic reticulum, RR, is characterized by the following. It's situated in the cytoplasm and spreads out everywhere. It's made up of thin sheets stacked parallel to each other. The surface is dotted with ribosomes, which gives it that signature rough look, hence the name, rough endoplasmic reticulum.
The endoplasmic reticulum without ribosomes studding its surface is known as the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, SER. It's a key player in churning out lipids, like fats, phospholipids, and steroids. Plus, it lends a hand in detoxifying harmful stuff. Ribosomes are tiny, solid specks comprised of two subunits. Think of them as a larger chunk and a smaller chunk that lock together. When it comes to protein synthesis, messenger RNA, mRNA, gets strung onto this ribosome, with each ribosome geared to decode a specific codon carrying the mRNA's instructions, clear as day.
Cells are buzzing with biological activity, and enzymes are the linchpins of metabolism. You'll find these enzymes tucked away inside lysosomes. These little pods are usually shaped like near-perfect spheres.
The image spotlights microtubules, glowing vibrant green. Each one's about 25 nanometers across. Think of them as tiny, hollow pipes made of protein, the cell scaffolding, what we call the cytoskeleton. This cytoskeleton is key for a cell's shape and stiffness, and for keeping all its bits and bobs in the right place. Microtubules also ferry stuff around inside the cell, acting like little highways for molecules to travel on.
Though folks don't typically call it an organelle, the cell membrane's actually a mighty complex setup, made up of things like phospholipids, channel proteins, and the whole shebang. The phospholipid bilayer, nature's masterpiece. The phospholipid bilayer is a testament to the sheer genius of nature's blueprints. Given that the cells inside and outside are awash in fluids, the hydrophilic heads of the phospholipids naturally orient themselves to face both the watery intracellular and extracellular spaces. At the same time, the hydrophobic tails huddle together, tucked away on the inside. Proteins act like doorways, carefully letting specific biochemicals pass through the plasma membrane. This pick-and-choose behavior is why we call the plasma membrane semipermeable.
Plant cells each house a vacuole, a membrane-wrapped compartment that acts like a storage closet for water, nutrients, ions, and waste. Vacuoles can hog up to 90% of the real estate in a fully grown plant cell.
Chloroplasts are vital for photosynthesis in plants and other organisms such as algae. The Calvin cycle, or dark reaction of photosynthesis, happens inside them. Beyond chloroplasts, there are other kinds of plastids. Chloroplasts get their name from the chlorophyll pigment they contain. Chromoplasts, on the other hand, house pigments like carotene. And then you have leucoplasts, which don't have any pigment at all but instead store things like starch, lipids, or proteins. Cilia are like tiny little arms sticking out from certain eukaryotic cells. They're pretty versatile, you know. They can sense what's going on around them, help the cell move, or even create currents in fluids. And get this, they're absolutely microscopic.
The cell wall? You'll find it in plant cells, algae, fungi, and bacteria. We're mainly talking about your typical plant cell wall here. It's a tough cookie, mostly made of cellulose and hemicellulose. Think of it as a bodyguard, shielding against osmotic stress, getting roughed up, or catching some nasty bug. Crucially, it's what keeps the plant standing tall and proud.
The middle lamella, made of calcium and magnesium pectate, sits between the cell walls, acting like a cellular mortar to bind cells together and maintain tissue integrity.
The centrosome, a key player in cell organization, features a dynamic duo of centrioles. These centrioles, nestled perpendicular to each other, form the centrosome's core architecture. It's worth noting that this structure isn't bound by a membrane. Each centriole itself is crafted from 9 sets of microtubule triplets. Essentially, the centrosome acts as the cell's main microtubule organizing hub. Usually, you'll find just one centrosome per cell for most of its life cycle. It's absolutely vital during cell division, where it takes charge in building the spindle apparatus. The spindle apparatus, a football-shaped temporary structure, is crucial for cell division. Anchored to the centrosomes, it meticulously balances and ensures chromosomes are equally divvied up between the daughter cells.